It's episode. Oh my god! I just knocked my hat off the desk.
Figured.
It's episode 341 of the Platformers, a show about games and nerd culture. I'm Brian Barnett, and like a bad penny, I keep coming back.
I always know what time it is, Chris Cornelise.
And what time is it, my friend?
Time to clobber.
It is.
Clobbering time, if you will.
Yes. All right, we got some stuff to talk about this week. We are hot on the heels of some Marvel Rivals.
Starting late today because various reasons, but we filled that airtime with a lot of Marvel Rivals with a bunch of friends, and it was glorious.
It really was. Up until that last game, which was not good.
What are you talking about? We ended on a high note. I don't remember what you're talking about.
Oh, that's true. The note that we ended on was when I got MVP with Wolverine. I'm pretty sure that happened at some point. Yeah. But anyways, game's a lot of fun.
I know you definitely did a Scarlet Witch. I got at least one as Groot. So
oh my god, yes. That was
Groot game was
the best Scarlet Witch game I've ever had in my life.
It was the best Groot game I ever had. So yeah.
Like 25-0-5 or something like that. It was like
something
ridiculous.
Absurd. Yeah.
But anyways, we got a lot to talk about, so let's dive right in. Shall we talk about the elephant-sized lizard in the room first, or?
I mean, we may as well. It's the big picture topic that everyone is playing and talking about. At least 1 million concurrent, I believe, was the last thing.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so we've both been playing Monster Hunter Wilds. I've been playing it for a while for work and also for fun. And I'm actually going to write something up about it that you'll be able to see in the somewhat near future. But as a returning Monster Hunter sicko, why don't you lead us off?
This is a good one. This is a real good one. For context, for those who are in the know, I have started high rank, which means I'm further ahead of you, I'm fairly sure. But normally it goes, you do low rank stuff, you'll usually hit a point where it's like the story kind of, it doesn't usually complete, but it's like the main first thing is dealt with, but then there's a big open hook, and then you go into high rank where it concludes and finishes, and high rank, you have to, all the materials, all the monsters are harder and you get higher grade materials. So basically you farm all your armor and weapons up again and go from there. So the game really doesn't start until you get to high rank. And that feels doubly true here because they put a lot of focus on the story this time around. Like more than they have even in, like Rise didn't have huge focus on story. World attempted, but still was just kind of eh. This is a big story game as far as they're concerned. There's a lot of times where it feels like the gloves don't come off and the leash doesn't come off until you hit high rank, basically. But during that time, you go through the story, and it does get better as it goes along, and ends a pretty satisfying point with some really cool last couple of fights.
Yeah.
So
I just beat the Uthdana. And got
that's a cool fight.
And got to the Oil King or whatever. So
Oil Kingdom.
That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, don't know. It's not the Oil Kingdom, but that's
But yeah,
America land.
So that's where I'm at. But yeah, super fun. Some really fun monsters. I am kind of settling into the fact that like I might be an insect glaive main. Because every time I switch to something else, and I'm just like, but I could be bouncing on it, and you know me, I'm all about that. So,
you could be bouncing on it. Quote Brian Barnett.
Indeed.
Yeah.
That's my other car is an insect glaive, and I'd rather be bouncing on it within the font of I'd rather be fishing.
Ridiculous. Well, honestly, I appreciate that somebody's holding the insect glaive torch, which, I mean, a bunch of people I know are playing it as well. But so my two weapons of choice have typically been switch axe or insect glaive across the last few games I played. And I'll usually alternate, and I was going to lean towards insect glaive this one because I played switch axe a lot in Rise, because the insect glaive wasn't as novel to me in Rise because its big gimmick is mobility, but in Rise, everybody just had mobility, like, out the ass. So, So yeah, I was going to play Insect Glaive, and then I played Switch Axe, and then I parried on Switch Axe, and every successive parry I got against a monster made me lean harder into the Switch Axe until there was no going back.
Probably like earlier when I was kidnapping tanks as Wolverine and just
Mm,
deleting
mm,
them
mm.
from existence. It's like, every time I do that, I'm like,
Yeah, yeah. Somehow we got back to rivals again.
Oh, well, I had to do it.
Is
I
it?
had to do it to him.
This is a 2025 Balatro for us, right? Any
I
topic,
think it
somehow
is.
we bring it up.
I think it's gonna be. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you, but
Yeah.
As somebody who has played several Monster Hunter games in the past, I think my first Monster Hunter game was the one on the PSP, which was Freedom Unite.
Freedom Unite, one of. There were a couple of portable ones. It was more a portable series than otherwise Until World, so. But yeah.
Yeah, so which is one of the reasons why I've been so disappointed that it doesn't really run great on the Steam Deck. Although I have PSA out there, there is a thing that you can do in the config.ini. There's a typo where it should say resolution scaling, but it says resolution scaling.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I think somebody said that one doesn't change it. However, going into the INI and disabling the volumetric fog will improve your performance a lot. So,
okay. Well, I'll have to do that as well. I didn't see that one.
Yeah, the game is not optimized very well, unfortunately. And that's not just on PC, that's on console as well. Like, Capcom pushed to make it look really good, and boy, does it look good.
Yeah, it does.
Those environments and such look really good, but you just cannot get it, performing super well on anything. So, is what it is. Hopefully, patches and such will go through. Maybe if they removed Denuvo, it would help.
Yeah,
Capcom.
maybe. It pretty much always does. Everybody knows. But yeah.
But the executives don't, because sales lost or something. I don't fucking know. One day Denuvo will stop existing and we will celebrate.
Yeah, so volumetric fog control enable equals true. Just switch that to false, I guess?
I believe so. You'll have to look up specific, grain of salt. Obviously, I don't know for sure. Don't brick your game and blame me.
Well, I'm definitely going to do it.
I've heard this is a major factor. Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to try that as well. But I will say after fixing that thing and then also customizing some settings, like turning frame generation off and like frame interpolation off, I was able to play for a while without it crashing, whereas it crashed before. And it looks better. So I was able to make it look better and run better. And I was able to play longer. So I may be able to tweak it and get it to a point where it's playable on Steam Deck, in which case I will be very happy with it. But until then, I'm basically just like streaming it from my desktop to my Steam Deck when I'm playing it down on the couch, which is a great way to do it. This is a great game to just be playing, which is why I want it portable so badly. Because like it's not a game like Rivals where like I have to be locked in the whole time. It's like, well, I can just wander around and collect materials.
Yeah, you can just explore, figure out where to put your pop-up camps, grab materials, farm sleep herbs, because you never have enough fucking sleep herbs anymore.
I can fight like little monsters or like monsters that I'm out geared for, like stuff like that. Like it is a game that I can feel really benefits from the portable kind of form factor.
That'll also be good once you get to high rank as well, because then by that point, like your growth as a character just becomes, exponential. And so you just go back and like sneeze on these poor low rank monsters and they fall over.
Nice.
It's like when we teamed up with friends of the show, Kerry Palmer and Justin Grace, and we just styled on that shit for a while because they were already in high rank.
Yeah, destroyed everything, which is great. But yeah, so having played like Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, and then I also played, let's see, I did try World. I bounced off of that just because I feel like that game is like a little obtuse. I played the Rise like preview. And then I think I played another one, not Monster Hunter 3rd G, but it was another one.
What system was it on?
I don't remember.
Because 3 was originally on the Wii of all things, but then they ported it to a bunch of stuff, including handheld, 3DS.
Yeah,
I know.
I know the 3 that I have definitely played for sure is Monster Hunter Freedom Unite on PSP, World on PS4, 5, the like demo of Rise on Switch, and then this one. So I know I've at least played those. I feel like I've played another one as well, but none of them really grabbed me until this one. So Wilds is definitely where I'm like, yeah, I fuck with this. This is good.
Yeah. For me, it was World. Like I had dabbled in 3, 4, and Generation, but yeah, World was the big one. World was where the series just,
which one was
actually
Monster
hit
Hunter
for
Generations? That sounds really familiar.
That was right. That was the one right before World.
Okay.
It was in between. It was right after 4.
Okay, so that was on like 3DS and Switch.
Yeah, the Generations Ultimate came out on Switch after the fact.
Okay.
And it was out in Japanese only beforehand, I think, and then Switch was the first English port. I'm not sure.
Okay.
The base Generations is on 3DS. I have it on that as well. So
yeah, I know people were super into World and Iceborne. And then Rise is supposed to be really good. I mean, who knows? If I can't ever get this thing working, I might try Rise, because I've heard that there are some things that Wilds kind of messes up that Rise actually did better.
Yes and no.
Matchmaking and
okay, yeah, 100%. Like once you know what you're doing in Wilds, we got it working reasonably, but like it felt like, yeah, Rise was just like, it didn't matter. You just posted the quest. If it was your first time hunting the monster, you would play the cutscene alone, but everyone else could still come along. No problem. Everyone gets progress. No dramas. Here, you got to go through a few more loopholes, and in order to get everyone on the same page and actually progress. So, yeah. Once we got them going, it's been fine, but I don't know why they backtracked it like that.
Yeah. And it seemed it's a little frustrating that, you can be on a story mission quest and you won't be able to have people join you, even if they are in your link party and your friend and everything, until that like quest started thing begins, even if you're already on the mission. It's very strange.
Yeah, you've started it and you're doing the build up and introduction, but then there has to be a cutscene, there has to be a new introduction, some kind of plot element has to play out, and only then when it's like, okay, leash off, here you go. Release release limiter lock level 1, go kill that thing. The guild authorizes you.
Yeah, there you go. And I knew what you were doing. I hope you understand I was fucking with you with the Ragna thing from BlazBlue. But
I knew. I was just like, I saw that gif, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But I just had to throw out the actual.
That's another good one. That's another good one.
I'll pay it, but yeah.
But yeah, so the thing that sucks about that is the moment where they like lift the restriction and let you group up with people is typically the instant that the monster fight starts, which is like, I would really
so you immediately
love
have to just kind of run.
Yeah, it's just like, it sucks. Like I would like them to be there with me and then like it begins so that we can all like.
Otherwise you just kind of have to run or dung pot it or just like, fuck off, I'll deal with you in a sec. Let me call my crew.
It's frustrating. But yeah, but it's really good.
Once you get to high rank, a lot of that does ease up just because the way the story is structured is a lot less structured. Like I'm basically just going around, fucking around and exploring on my own terms now.
Good.
Even though there is like a plot and progression, but yeah.
I'm ready for this game to stop holding my hand, which is crazy because this game has gone so far in the other direction from my experience of Monster Hunter games previous. And like I bounced off of Monster Hunter World like a few missions in, just because I got really there was an escort mission like really early where you have to like walk behind somebody pushing a cart, and I was like, bro, I'm not doing this. Like this is why would you put this foot forward? This is really obnoxious. You
sit there and follow them for like 3 minutes, and then a Rathian shows up, and then you actually get to play the quest. But it's like, I don't understand why they did that in World, but yeah.
And then I think the thing was like I think I died to the Rathian, or I had to like leave or something and come back, and they made me do the intro following the cart again, and I'm like, fuck this, I'm out.
Yeah, screw that.
Like I'm like, nah, I'm not. If this is what this game is, I'm not doing this. Which is a shame.
Funny thing is, that's the outlier, right? Like after that, it's a lot more hands off. But
They really shouldn't
I
have
don't
done
know.
that then. They should have taken that out of the game.
Yeah,
It's really
and
annoying.
it's especially more annoying in World because I don't mind it so much here in Wilds because the story is better. Like, it takes a bit to get going. I feel like there were parts where you were really annoyed and I completely got it. But once it starts going and things start developing, it's like, yeah, this is actually really cool. You get more insight into this part of the world, the overall general world, the state of things. You get some, yeah, there's actually good characters, good character growth.
Yeah.
And then it ends like, I did not expect low rank to end on such a climactic fight, but I'll save the details to that one. But if you know, you know, that was a hell of a way to go out of low rank. And then you can't repeat the fight yet. They haven't. It's really annoying.
Mm.
They're gonna. That's almost certainly going to be like DLC where they have like an event quest where it's repeatable. Which I hope because I want to do that fight again. That fight was fun. Please, Capcom.
Mm. Well, yeah, but all I got to say about that is, well, I'll definitely be playing a lot more Monster Hunter Wilds. And I've got 2 guides going up on Kotaku. I've got a guide on how to do co-op, which is very helpful because that shit is mad annoying. And I've also got a piece that's going up soon about how the new wound system works. Because this is like a central pillar of your offense, and you will need to know how this works. And also, it's mad fun. So
It's super fun,
love
especially
the
once you
wound
get
system.
the. Later on, there is a skill which increases your chance to tear open wounds and makes it easier to do so. And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, I'm making a talisman of that, maxing that shit out, keeping it on every set I ever play because yeah,
It's great. It's really good. So, anyways, that's what we got for Monster Hunter.
they just took the clutch claw from Iceborne and said, what if we actually made this not annoying though? And it was good.
Nice. I dig it.
That said, I am under oath by Will to say the matchmaking and co-op issue was solved in 2004 by Halo 2. Please,
Yes, it was.
just has to be thrown out there.
Yeah, it was. It
So
absolutely
why we're
was.
still struggling with it 2 decades later is anyone's guess, but yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Pretty wild. So
Pretty Monster Hunter wild.
So we've been playing that. We've also been playing Rivals. I don't know that we need to talk about Rivals, although we can if you want.
Well, I suppose we can throw out. There's 2 things we can throw out. One, they did the patch not that long ago.
Yes.
Because we haven't done a podcast in a couple of weeks, so I'm not sure if we ever spoke about it. But the Torch, Human Torch, and the Thing have been added to it, as well as a new stage, new events, rotation quests, all that good stuff.
A new Groot skin that I have that is awesome.
Yep, that's pretty good. And yeah, I've picked up the Thing, and he is now slotting nicely into my arsenal of characters as a good off tank. He is a lot of fun. As I said, it is always that time.
It is always clobbering time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and yeah, and Human Torch,
really
I have put about 30 seconds of playtime onto him, so I wouldn't know.
So
I never get to play DPS.
I've played quite a bit of him. Somebody actually took the guide, so I'm not writing the Human Torch guide. But I will say I've looked around and I'm kind of shocked at how people think about him. Because it seems like the consensus is he is not very good, and I feel exactly the opposite. I think he is really good. He is.
The first couple of games I saw with him in it, they seemed really good, very oppressive. I don't know what's changed. So yeah.
So for me, he's a flyer. And there are 3 dedicated 100% flying characters in the game, and he's the 3rd one. So the first 2 were Iron Man and Storm. So Iron Man is pure damage, and like hyper mobility, but for a little bit of time. So he has like the speed boost, where he can like fly extremely fast, and there's not many characters that can catch him. Star-Lord can catch him, but that's basically it. And then otherwise he just does a bunch of like AoE burst damage and like really high single target damage. But for the single target damage, he has to be really close.
Storm,
he's
not the greatest at securing kills, but he can definitely set them up.
Yes. He is great at contributing consistent pressure throughout the match. Like as long as you know where to post up, and you're good at getting out of trouble when you need to, and saving your cooldowns for then. He can be a really big playmaker in the game. Storm was maybe the best DPS character in the game for a while. I don't know that she still
she seems to have dropped off a little bit. I'm not sure if that's anything to do with, like, I didn't look too much at the patch notes for her or anything. I still think she's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still think she's good, if only because she provides utility to the team that is super helpful.
Yeah.
But
and she has
her ultimate is very good.
She also has it's better now, even because now she has the option to combine it with the Human Torch's ultimate to make a flaming tornado, which is basically a guaranteed like enemy team wipe.
Yeah, it's stupid good. It just means you have to have 2 flyers on your team, which not always done. But yeah, so I don't know. I guess Torch just slots into there, and then it's like Storm's better, Iron Man's better. He doesn't add as much, but I don't know. Every time I've gone up against him, he seems to have done fine.
Yeah,
so.
The thing with him, and Nick is good at him. I don't know if we've played together when Nick was playing Human Torch.
1 or 2 games, I could definitely see. Yeah, he was getting work done.
Yeah. So one of the Human Torch's things is when Iron Man has a team up with Hulk, he gets more damage. Like he gets more volleys, he gets more damage, he gets like better damage stuff. When Storm is grouped with Thor and Captain America, she gives them something, but she doesn't really get anything in return. Johnny, when he teams up with Invisible Woman, he gets a shield that he can pop for himself. And survivability is one of the biggest problems flyers have, particularly when enemies like Hela, which are hit scan characters that deal a lot of damage, who now Hela has like basically no damage drop off, which means she could 2-tap you from basically anywhere on the screen, which is kind of ridiculous. Hela and Namor are like the main. Hela, Namor, and Hawkeye are like the main counters for flyers. You have to be really erratic in your movement. But the thing with the Human Torch is he sacrifices Iron Man's single target damage and Storm's ability to like buff her teammates, and just has area denial. Like he is all about AoE area denial. If you are playing, he is a character that really benefits from playing on mouse and keyboard, because his secondary fire makes these like fire spots on the ground. And if you make like a box of them and then use his other ability that connects them, he creates this giant square of just constant damage. It's like
you put them in the box.
Yeah, it's like an inverted version of Invisible Woman's super. He just creates a firebox where people take constant damage being in it. And being able to just right click, and then like hit 2 or 3 or whatever it is, and then just link that together is mad powerful. It has limitations. It can't go upstairs or any, like it breaks on like any sort of wall or any obstruction. Like groups walls will stop it, like a bunch of other stuff like that. Or it'll just like, instead of making a square, it'll be a triangle or something. That ability to like deny space or just constantly give pressure.
Yeah, even if it's just a 2-point flame wall, that's still just like, well, you're taking damage to get through this doorway. Good luck.
Yeah. And so like that sort of stuff, and the fact that like if somebody is really low, he can like instantly air to ground, like slam and like explode his little sunspot things on the ground to deal like a little bit of burst damage. It's dangerous once he does that, but if you're securing a kill and you've got like somebody to back you up or whatever, or you've got like the Invisible Woman shield.
Or you have, Susan on your team, which, when you're playing with me, you probably have Susan on your team.
Exactly. Like he has a lot of potential and he's really, really good. And when he does his super, it feels like you basically can't be anywhere, because he can just like, it turns his little sunspot things into giant fire tornadoes. That just deal a lot of constant damage. So he can... And
it lasts a while because it's an install. So the whole area is like... It's like an inverse of like the healer ults, where it's just like, okay, fights off for a while. We just sit back and not do anything.
Yeah.
Here it's just like, okay, fights off. Can't go there. We're going to die.
The thing for the Human Torch is he's kind of like a DPS version of Penny, but he doesn't have to rely on like spawns that people can kill. Yeah. He's just like, all right, I'm just going to put down area denial stuff, and you better not be in here or you're going to die. And so for that reason, I think that the Human Torch is really good. Thing is fantastic for totally different reasons. But Kris, I'll let you get into that because I think you have more time as him than I do.
So the biggest thing is that he slots into the off-tank kind of role. Like you can do So here's the thing.
You already did it. You don't have to do
I
it.
know, but I had to say it in that specific way because
Yeah.
that just keeps getting posted on like the subreddit or whatever. So
Yeah.
here's the thing. Here's a picture of the thing. Anyway, anyway, he is more of an off-tank or bruiser kind of role than a dedicated frontline tank. He can do it, but I find, people who have a lot more ability to block damage, like Strange or Groot, are better for that. Nonetheless, he does
We've
a lot of
double-tanked
damage.
as Groot and Thing, and it works very well.
Yeah, for sure. The main thing he has going for him is he is a lot more mobile than the average tank because he can jump to an ally if they are within close range, and then he gives both the ally and himself damage reduction, which is super useful.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four, yep. And then he has a charge where he does a running charge and Reinhardt, Overwatch, that kind of thing. Just you can steer it, and you can steer it. It's harder to steer than I thought. Not because it's slow to steer, because you steer really fucking quick, and it's like you just zigzag all over the place. But then if you connect with anybody, you do damage and launch them up, and then once you cancel it, you then launch everybody around, so you can stack that twice. So you can use that to close distance, do a lot of crowd control, just get in people's face. And you want to get in people's face because he only has melee attacks. His base attack is a 1-2 punch, and he has a right-click charge-up haymaker, which gives him a little bit of distance and is pretty solid, but no range, no projectiles, no nothing otherwise. So I'm usually just charging in, doing a bit of damage, and then jumping back to my team.
I have been killed so many times by that charging punch.
It's great.
It's ridiculous. But you're leaving out...
And then, of course, his ultimate is excellent.
Well, I was going to say, you're leaving out one of the most important things that differentiates him from other tanks in the game.
And that is a team up with Susan Storm.
No.
But he does have that where he just gets a button which gives himself damage reduction, and which can stack. I believe it stacks with the other one, but it's just good because you don't need anybody to jump to. So very helpful to have.
Yeah.
But yeah, the big thing is he very carefully asks you very gently what time it is. And which upon you are just utterly stunned that he would even dare to ask such a thing.
It's true.
And then, yeah, big line AoE of massive stun. And shout out to the voice actor. My God, he goes hard.
Yeah. It's every time I hear it, I'm like, yeah, it is time.
It is in fact that time. So naturally, I have just been... we were playing on the new map, and it was a defense mission or something, and Brian was playing Groot, and we had everything else. So I'm just like, I'm going to go off tank, and I had played a little bit of the thing previously in like quick matches to get a feel for him. Like, I'm going to be off tank here. I didn't really feel like playing Cap America, who's another off tank, who has just got a buff and is pretty good. But I thought I'll play the thing like that, and then we just cleaned up. We just could not die. We held that point like you wouldn't believe, and then after that, it's like, it's done. We rock this. We fuck with this.
It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. One of the things that I would say as a newly minted Wolverine player that is notable about the thing is he cannot be CC'd. Which means Wolverine cannot kidnap him like he can the other tanks. He also cannot be... I don't think you can be stunned.
You can be stunned.
I know Hulk can exile
an enemy. An enemy thing can still stun you with his ultimate.
Okay.
But any kind of knockback or displacement doesn't work.
Oh yeah.
So the pushback from
do anything.
Yeah, Sue can't push or pull him. Magneto can't push him. Anything like that. It's just he will sit there and cannot die. I'm unsure of that one. I will get back to you on that. I think it might just be movement displacement, but yeah.
Because I know he can be exiled.
If the thing decides he wants to be there, he's going to fucking be there.
Yeah, which is great. I think that's wonderful. But yeah, so that is a thing that is... So basically, if you play the thing, that can be... You can pick the thing as a counter pick to Wolverine, which is nice because Wolverine is the tank murderer.
Yeah.
Something I've been really enjoying.
Yeah. You've become that guy.
I've embraced the darkness. Well, I mean, come on. We all knew that me and the darkness were friends. We go way back. But I'm just... Yeah. I'm back with my buddy doing the things that we do. But Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. I love this patch. I think it's great.
The new map is enjoyable and kind of teases at who the next character will be. It's Blade.
It's gonna be.
And
it's gonna be Blade.
It's gonna be Blade. He looks cool too.
Yeah, he looks mad cool.
But yeah.
That's great.
So it should be good.
Should be good. Play Rivals. It's really fun. It's delightful.
Shout out to Brian. We finally got him to gold. It only took 40 years, but we did it.
Yeah, it only took 40 years. But that means I will have my Sue Storm and Johnny.
Join me in the black and red glory that is the Sue Storm skin from competitive. Yeah,
vampires are not.
I rock that skin, and boy, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, that's gonna be great. It's gonna be fantastic. I can't wait. But let's talk about something else.
All right.
What else should we talk about?
And what else you got this week?
Well, I can talk about Pacific Drive. Other than that,
talk about Pacific Drive. I want to hear what you think about that.
All right. So Pacific Drive. Let me see. Pacific
Being
Drive,
a game that we forced to get higher than Balatro in hindsight during the Game of the Year discussion, because we're like, you know what? Yeah.
So I will say I'm really happy that we put that on there, because this game is it really does capitalize on, like, much like Balatro. It capitalizes on bringing the roguelike formula to a new type of game, which I think is great. Like, Balatro was like, hey, what if we put a roguelike in a poker game? And Pacific Drive is like, what if we put a roguelike in the middle of, like,
survival
Fallout,
crafting driving game? Yeah.
Fallout and, like, Forza Horizon. Like, it's really weird.
There's nothing else quite like it.
Yes, which I love. I love games where it's like, this is its own, like Catherine is one of those games. Like, there's a bunch of games where it's just like, there's just nothing like this. Like, Eurokill is one of those games where it's like half visual novel escape room game and half like bullet hell, which is like a fucking insane combination of games.
That's wild, yeah.
Yeah. But speaking of Eurokill, there you go, right there.
Yep, there you go.
My little Eurokill thing that I got. Shout outs to I think it was NIS who sent me this. I think it was. Maybe it wasn't. Anyways. Regardless,
yeah. Pacific Drive is kind of its own thing.
Yes.
And nothing is completely new about it, but it's just the way it's put together is done really thoughtfully in a really cool way that just capitalizes on atmosphere without like leaning outright into horror or anything. But
I don't know. It's hard for me to authoritatively say that it doesn't do anything new, because I don't know. Like, my car game experience is not as broad as some of the other people that we have on our show sometimes. But
Will Sagard asked for that, and he's not here today, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't know of any other game where you take cars apart and then build them better. Because like, I have like a shitty door, and then I take the door off the hinges and I build like a door that's made of steel. I put that on, and it, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know of any games where that's what you do, but I also don't know of many games where you drive and like you have to manually park the car, turn on the windshield wipers, turn on the lights, like start the
Pacific
car
Drive.
Yeah.
Pacific Drive goes out of its way to make everything a process, which I know turns some people off, and they're just like, oh, why do I have to go through all these steps? Or, I forget a little thing and then my car starts rolling backwards and everything. But I'm just like, no, it gets you so attached.
I love that. That is like
so attached. You have to focus. You have to tune in. And then as a result, it's like whatever shape and form your car ends up, you put it that way piece by piece.
Yeah.
And whatever state it ends up in, how you got there, what happened, what you can do, and how you might, decide to carry extra things or extra parts that you can just swap out mid-drive. It's like, I'm going for a long drive. I know I'm going to be in a very acid-heavy region. I'll swap out, the lightning protective stuff for the acid stuff or whatever.
I've got
Bring a
some.
spare tire.
I brought some stuff in the trunk for that reason. Like I have repair kits. I have stuff like this. So I'm going to contrast this with a game that a lot of people love that I think is wildly overrated. So a lot of times I will talk about, well, never mind. I'll put this in a different way. Pacific Drive makes you focus on the moment to moment and the specific chain of actions that you have to do to make something happen to bring you into a sense of realism and a sense of place. And it grounds the otherwise insane events of the game. Like when you drive this car, you have to do all the things that you would normally do to drive a car, which could be annoying, but as somebody who really enjoys driving cars, it's great for me. Like I love popping in my car, fastening my seatbelt, turning it on, like the ignition, like with the key, and then like putting it into drive, like doing the parking brake, like all that sort of stuff. Like I love it. It feels good. It feels good to do that. Like the mechanical.
And it's not like it doesn't go as hard as it can because it's not like a manual transmission or anything.
Yeah.
It is still automatic, but you still have to put it in park or drive. So it's something.
Yeah. When you're driving on like a muddy part of the road, it feels like it. When you're driving on, when you're like taking a sharp corner or something, when you slam into something, like thankfully you don't get whiplash and have to go to the hospital, but otherwise it feels right. I think it would be really fascinating to play a VR version of this game or like a 4D version of this game where like, how some people set up like the long road trucking, like, or like truck driving simulator.
Yeah.
Like
the multiple
immersive. Oh man, it would be sick to play Pacific Drive in a setup like that.
It already kind of feels that because again, you're always first person perspective.
Yeah.
So even when you're in the car or whatever, you still have to open up your, open up the door, get out, do all that. But when you're in there, you still have to look around. You have to check mirrors. You have to do things like that. You can't just pull out and see where everything is around your car.
It's great.
You have to be cognizant of it. And that can really come to bite you when, the land starts upheaving.
Yeah. When you're just driving along and then all of a sudden, it's like a giant pillar just got in front of my car and then I just broke my front end, which is just like, man, that's really obnoxious. But
what's that weird wall that looks like a wall of air? Oh, I am suddenly 30 meters up in the air.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. But but Pacific Drive focuses on those things in a way that's mechanically satisfying, in a way that directly contrasts with what Red Dead Redemption 2 did, which was they focused on the granularity of what you were doing and like, oh, you have to take a shower and shave and eat in a way that was like profoundly unfun. So this is like Pacific Drive is like
respect
how
your
you
time.
do it right. Like Pacific Drive, it respects your time because it makes all of those specific things fun. Like it's fun to get back to your garage, you fill up your gas tank, you fill up your side tank. You got other gas tanks you want to keep in the trunk, put those on the ground and fill them up and then pop them in the trunk. The little things like, oh, I'm going to go take my scrapper and tear up this car, pick up all the pieces, load them up into the trunk, and then go back to the base and figure out what blueprints I can like figure out what can I make out of this. And when you improve your car, the funny thing is they make this like explicit. They're like, oh, when something like this car appears, the person just gets more fixated on it until it drives them crazy. And
there is narrative aspects to it, and I love it.
Yeah, where it's just like I built this car, and it's like I scrapped all my shitty doors and made like insulated doors, steel doors. So like my car looks better and you can see it. There's a visual representation of like, this is the work I put into this car. This is how much better it looks. This is how much better it feels to drive when I'm driving on summer tires instead of spare tires. There's all this kind of stuff.
When you get the off-road tires and all that and so on.
Yeah. It's really, really great. I love it. And unlike Monster Hunter Wilds, it runs great on Steam Deck out of the box. So this has been
it would.
This has been a game that I've been playing a lot. When there was a little bit of time when Marvel Rivals had like a massive latency issue on Steam Deck. I figured out some settings to change that fix that. So I'm back on there. But for a while, I was basically, when I was playing Steam Deck, I was playing Pacific Drive. So Let me see how many hours I have in it. Yeah, I guess I have 10 hours right now. So I still have, I guess, a ways to go. I don't know how long this game is. I have not checked the how long to beat. How long to beat
It's the only thing I put forward in my top 10 that I hadn't actually completely finished, because it's one of those games that, again, I'll put it down for like a month or two at a time, and then come back and just drive for the hell of it. And
Okay.
I always have a great time and just pick it up. But I was like 40, 50 hours deep, I think, last I checked.
Okay, so it says main story is like 20 hours, main and sides is 31, completionist is 46. So
That sounds about right.
so I might be about halfway through the game. Maybe not. But yeah, it's
I had
really
35
really fun.
hours, and I was pretty close to the end, so yeah.
I love it. I think it's fantastic. Oh, also it's on sale right now. It's like $20. So
Well, there you go.
yeah,
Even at the best of times, it's cheap. So yeah, if you're listening and you haven't checked out Pacific Drive yet, do so.
It's normally $35 and it is worth every penny of that. So if you haven't gotten it, $20 is a steal. So yeah, it's really really great. This is another one of those games that like nothing is like it. So it's gonna go on my like short list of like this. You should play this to experience some new stuff. Ironwood really crushed it with this. It's fun. It also it's really wild when you, and I talked about this in the Discord, but when you hop out to grab something and then two little abductors fly over and one of them grabs you and one of them grabs your car and they drag you super far apart. And then it's just like, you motherfucker, get back here. You know, it's a lot of fun. I love it.
I don't know if you're far enough to have found the gumball things yet, but
not yet.
Yeah, those are fucking annoying.
I had one where there were like these little Tesla coils that were just like snaking around and like just encircling me. So it was like, I have to be like really careful when I drive out of here. But yeah, it's great.
They start to ambush you in interesting ways. And yeah,
I definitely got ambushed by a bunch of fucking mannequins for sure. So.
Oh yeah, they do that. They 100% do the they move when they're not looking. So
the thing that sucked is when the mannequins explode and then the abductor drags your car into them, and it's just like, God damn it, like, and it just like he just like totally blew up the front end of my car. Yeah. Oh well.
Unfortunate.
It is. I had to.
I like was near abductors.
I was literally on the first like outing on my road trip, and I was like, okay, now I have to just survive until I can go back home, which is like crazy. But yeah, mad fun.
Do you know how to deal with the mannequins at a range yet, or?
I don't have anything. I don't think.
Road flares.
Oh, you can throw them.
If you light a road flare and then throw it, and it hits it, they will pop.
Oh,
so
okay, cool.
Keep that in mind. You get better ways of dealing with them later, but that is the way to do it early on. So yeah.
Okay. I haven't been carrying road flares because I got like the flashlight recently. So I guess I'll keep.
Yeah, I carry the road flares or another means of dealing with them that you'll find later. But gotcha. Yeah, just because, you know.
I think I have some in my trunk still, so I'll have to do that. But yeah, it's good. It's really good. Check it out.
Pacific Drive.
Pacific Drive. I will be talking more about that later as I continue because I'm not stopping. I won't stop. All right, Kris, what do you have? What else do you have?
So let me tell you about a rabbit hole I fell into recently. Okay. So on a whim, and recommended to me by a friend of mine, shout outs to you, P, if you're listening. They posted like a little TikTok video that was like 30 seconds long, going on this tiny little game called let me get it up properly, the Dark Queen of Mortholme. And this is basically, what if you were the Dark Souls boss? It's on itch. It's pay what you want. I paid $2. It's only like 20 minutes or so, but it is a very short little narrative experience. And yeah, it's pretty cool. It's like, what would it be like to be a boss in a Dark Souls scenario where you've crushed this hero in 1 or 2 hits or whatever, and they come back, and they keep coming back, and they keep coming back, and that you have this dialogue back and forth with them, and it's just, yeah, it's really done. It's really well done. It's really charming, and I thought it was a neat little experience. Nice. However, that was the start of the deep dive, because then I found myself on itch.io, which admittedly I don't look at nearly enough. I have, a few games on it here and there, but my go-to is still Steam or whatever. So just on a whim, after feeling, I tried that little experimental thing, like that was kind of cool. I don't look at itch enough. What is on itch? So I went to browse and I sorted it by top rated. And the vast majority of games in the top rated are actually visual novels, which interesting. I dabble in visual novels on occasion, but the one that was way out in front is a game that is called. I want to get the subtitle up, so just give me one moment. It is called Our Life, Beginnings and Always, I want to say is the subtitle. Which is important because there's a sequel in development currently. Yes, Our Life, Beginnings and Always. There's a sequel in development currently called Our Life Now and Forever, still in early access, I believe. But on a complete whim, I'm just like, why not? Click, download. And the way it goes is it's a free game, like you can buy it free, but there's a bunch of DLC to basically add a whole bunch of different scenes and extra things to flesh out the chapters. But you can play it start to finish completely free, and you'll get a very satisfying experience from it. I know because I did. And yeah, this really caught me off guard. So the concept is that it is visual novel with romantic elements which you can, lean into or ignore as you see fit, where it takes place over the course of 15 years total. Basically focusing in on a summer vacation every 5 years over the age where your character is aged 8, 13, and 18. And each time it focuses in on the experiences of a kid that moves into your neighborhood and how your, friendship and eventually possibly relationship and such can go. And I just found it super fucking well done. Like, it was really well written. It was incredibly charming. The vibes were super wholesome and brought me in. It's very slice of life and everything like that. But it still dabbles in, some troubling stuff because the kid is only moving there because his parents recently divorced and he has a broken arm, so he can't do everything he wants to, and he's just been uplifted and he's very depressed. And so it's just, what does your character do in this situation? How do you befriend him? How do you approach this? And how does he change as a result over the years of both your interactions and with him and everything else? And just I really didn't know what I was getting into with this one, but I sat down and it basically consumed me for 2 days, and I played it through to completion, and I fucking adored it. To the point that it's had me going down a rabbit hole of looking for other stuff similar and not really finding much successful. I even got a discussion going in multiple Discords, including our mutual one with a bunch of games media, about how video games tackle romantic stories or fail miserably in a lot of ways. And I'll probably have to write something about that because, yeah, it's got me thinking about the whole thing. But all of that was spawned by this game, which I just happened to be on itch on a whim and play it on a whim. And man, I'm glad I did. So that is Our Life, Beginnings and Always. If you're at all interested in that kind of thing, give it a whirl. It's good fun.
Very nice. So
melted my cold dead heart. It did.
Nice. I only have one other thing to talk about tonight, and that is Audrey's book corner.
Hey.
I read today actually this comic book trade.
Aha.
The Immortal Hulk, Hulk in Hell, which is volume 3 of The Immortal Hulk. And it's really, really good. Hulk is a character that I have related to for a few years now. And this does a little bit more in that direction. It starts by asking like several questions, and it asks a bunch more questions about like spirituality and metaphysics and things like that. Like, it starts with, what is hell? There are places in this universe made of red rock and flame, peopled by horned goats and fanged serpents, built for the torment of souls. But these places are not hell. They are only places. Hell is not a place. Hell is the absence of God. Not atheism, because a thing cannot be absent if it was never there. To be absent, God must have once been present. God must have a face to turn it away from you. But is there another face that looks upon you when God's has gone? Does God have a shadow? And I'm like,
That's a pretty compelling opener, that's for sure.
yeah, yeah. And I'm like, yes. And so those little things keep coming back throughout the trade. And it's really good. This is they introduced in this comic a new character, like a new like elemental force, as it were. And it's interesting. It's really interesting. So I recommend it. I had a talk with somebody who's not technically related to me, frustratingly, but it is my cousin's cousin. And we were talking about this, but you can absolutely get things like this from your local library. And I highly recommend it. Libraries have a bunch of trade comics. Other libraries that are like networked with them that are nearby will also have other ones because they'll move around. You can get audiobooks from there with your Libby app on your phone. You can also get, you can check out games from your library. You can check out movies.
Libraries have updated with the times more than even I realized at the time. So definitely worth still being a part of and checking out and supporting because, yeah.
So this is
Publicly,
a PSA. Visit your public library, your local library. Typically the people there are mad nice. There's a lot of fun stuff to do there. My daughter loves going to the library, not because of the books, because she can't fully read yet, but because they have a great little kitchen set up and like a bunch of toys and stuff. They have playgrounds sometimes. So like, go check out your library. It's pretty sick. They've got tapes, they've got movies, they've got music, they've got all kinds of stuff. They have like classes that you can do there. Like there's an art class that you can go to. There's a bunch of stuff. So check out your local library and read some comics and read the Immortal Hulk in Hell, because it's good. And I'm reading some more of the Immortal Hulk. And I'm also going to be, I read a bunch of the Fantastic Four when I was a kid. And now because we've been playing Fantastic Four and Rivals, I'm actually going to go back and pick up some of the some of the best like Fantastic Four runs that I didn't read. So I'm having a lot of fun with that. I just read some Doctor Strange comics, including one where, oh my God, Isaac Newton is in it. It's pretty fun. Isaac Newton is in it. Merlin is in it. It's pretty good. Doctor Strange is also very good. So check out your local comics shop. Check out your local bookstore. Check out your local library. Read more.
Read books.
It's fun.
Read books or listen to books. That is also an acceptable outcome if you're not as big into focusing on reading these days.
Or if, like me, you have a lot of chores that need to be done and you would like to do something other than just listen to podcasts. You want to like enrich your life in some way and enjoy other types of culture. I highly recommend.
I mean, you'll enrich your life just fine by listening to us. We have pretty good takes on that stuff. But
it's true. But that's only because it's us. Come on.
It's only because it's us and we can't cover everything. There's some good books out there that I would highly recommend. So, yeah.
Yeah, we've covered Dune here. We've covered Neuromancer here. But, you know, it's going to take a while for us to get to all the books. So, anyways, Kris, did you have anything else you wanted to cover on the show?
There's one more thing I'll touch on briefly because I feel I am contractually obligated to do so. I was hoping Will was here because I know I spoke to him briefly about it when he was doing like review or preview stuff for it. But the week before Monster Hunter Wilds came out, another big game out of Japan that I was paying very close attention to came out. And that would be Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii.
Oh, I was going to say it's Yakuza Pirate's Booty, but I guess maybe it's not.
I mean, you could call it that if you wish, but yeah.
That's what it's going in the show notes as, unless I'm corrected.
Yakuza Pirate's Booty. There you go.
Yeah.
He do got the booty. Anyway. Shocking everyone, myself included the most, I don't like this game.
Wow.
Yeah. And the reasons why are at the same time complex, but also pretty straightforward to just say simply. And that is simply every Like a Dragon game has a main plot that is usually quite serious, quite convoluted, leans into, you know, the crime drama and the melodrama and everything like that. And it's great. But then in between all that is where the zany shit happens. In between all that is where the weird side quests and the mini games and activities and such. And you're very much encouraged to play those games holistically. You go around, you do your virtual tourism, you see what's out there, you progress the story. Maybe you'll feel, oh, that was kind of heavy. I'm just going to go do something, in between or space it out. And that is how those games play. When your main story is just as much of a joke as any of the side stories, it completely loses all meaning and the whole thing falls apart. And that is the problem. There's nothing serious about Pirate Yakuza. The main plot is itself what would be a joke plot in the side thing with all sorts of, don't think about it. There's just a bunch of tall ships shooting each other for no reason in, 2025. And while there may eventually be a serious plot, so far I haven't played that much of it because I've just not been compelled to. And a lot of the little things about it just kind of, without that serious hook to tie all the little things together, so much of it just ends up falling flat. Like, the Like a Dragon series is a series about contrast. And without that contrast, it just ends up, you shine specific lights on all of it and you go, this isn't that good. The combat's merely okay. The ship combat isn't particularly good. These minigames are fine, but they're just minigames. You need that really good story, that serious plot, tying it all together and making the whole thing work. And without that, it all comes apart in ways that I just really wasn't expecting. So it is not doing it for me at all.
That's
and
a shame.
I was shocked. Yeah.
Because
Majima is a great character.
I would be more sad for you, but Yakuza games come out all the fucking time, so I'm not that sad for you.
Yeah, it's like, is this bad? Is it not for me? Well, don't worry, there'll be another one probably in the next 12 months that will be for me.
Yeah. It's not like getting a bad like Metroid or Donkey Kong game where it's just like,
yeah,
God damn, that's like the next 12 years of my life gone. Anyways.
Pour one out for the people who waited for Shenmue 3.
Oh my God. Or Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Yeah, but at least one of those actually came out eventually. Probably shouldn't have, but it did.
That's true.
BG&E 2 is never coming out.
Hey,
guys.
is it better to have loved than lost, or to never have loved at all? Who knows? Who can say?
Well,
what a Shenmue
Beyond
by
Good and
any other
Evil
name
fans
still smell as sweet.
It'd still ask you where Chinese people hang out, or where sailors hang out.
That's still one of the best lines just in games. So good.
Just out of context.
Yeah.
Just randomly going around. Do you know where sailors hang out?
Is this
so dumb?
Are you a cop? You have to tell me if you are.
Oh man.
All right.
Shenmue. I respect Shenmue for what it did in terms of, when it came out and that, but like, that is not a good game to go back to if you didn't have that former experience with it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And 3
I'm gonna be honest,
that.
I low key don't think Beyond Good and Evil is either, but that's another discussion.
It's been a while since I played it, so I'm not going to throw my hat in that race. I liked it, but yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. All right, should we get out of here?
Yeah, keep it nice and concise, I think.
Nice and tight. Yeah, so this has been episode 341. Thank you so much for joining us. You can find me on social media at Ribnax, Ribnax, on Twitter and Twitch and YouTube, and on Blue Sky at Brian Barnett, Brian Barnett. You can check out my Monster Hunter Wilds and Marvel Rival guides and Indiana Jones and Great Circle guides on Kotaku right now. I will also have a preview going up. Actually, that's going to be like 2 weeks away. Because it's got an embargo for a while, but yeah, I'll have something else coming up pretty soon. What was the other thing I previewed recently? Anyways, I don't remember. Will previewed Claire Obscure Expedition 33, and you should go check that out because he is big into it. So I am anticipating that this is going to be a big one that we're going to talk about this year.
Yeah, I think this one, it kind of captured all our attention when the trailer first dropped, but everything I've seen and heard since then, and from, Will especially, it's like, ooh, this is one to watch.
Yeah. Anyways, Kris, where can everybody find you?
Hey, my name's Chris Cornelise. I usually go by Delphia across the internet. You can find me on most places and games as that. My website is versusthebacklog.com. That's vsthebacklog.com. Still hasn't been updated for a while because all my writing attention has been on a project which will hopefully come out in the near future. We will hopefully have something cool on that front soon. In the meantime, once again, shouting out a project I have assisted on by a friend of mine called Acclaimed Video Games. It is definitely worth taking a look at. It is massively comprehensive and so much more work than it looks, and so much more thorough than it looks. And it's very interesting, and I cannot get enough people to put their eyes on it. So go do that. Seriously.
Nice. Good stuff. Well, hey, from everybody here at the platformers, we hope you have a wonderful week and stay safe out there. Because until next time, we are out.
Goodbye.